them every game of 82L so far that they have played anyways. I apologize for that, but I am kind of tired, I suppose. Alright, so Reborn Dominion have chosen to play on the Radiant, and Beautiful are playing on the Dire. And on Reborn Dominion there is Olive Garden, RGB, Legion, Rothgar, and Cocoa Puffs. On the Dire it is Kentaro, Senpai Monster Zero, and Lil G. See if Reborn Dominion can claim some more wins for themselves in this season of the 82L. They would certainly benefit from the points, and because as the season develops, the team that wins the most will eventually get a bye once we hit the playoffs. And getting a bye that first weeks of the playoffs is just so incredibly useful. Just allows the teams to relax for a week and kind of practice, maybe do some homework on their potential opponents, and just get ready and prepared for their first set of playoff games. Alright, Byutiful.doto will have first pick this game, and going to see which of these teams, what strategies these teams choose to tend to go towards. And Reborn Dominion have chosen something a little bit different every time I've cast for them, although they do seem to favor late game strats, something with a lot of late game potential. So that's something we could see in the past, but Byutiful.doto going to ban out the Night Stalker, and this hero still very powerful in some drafts, and actually Zeus also banned out, so two heroes that provide a lot of vision taken out of the pool, and Outworld Devourer, another hero that has been played extensively in the competitive scene, also taken out. Some teams really value that hero, and I actually think the hero is a little bit strong. I don't know if overpowered, but definitely strong. So, and then Templar Assassin, another ban. This hero just something beautiful. Reborn Dominion just might not want to play, or maybe Byutiful.doto play it very, very well. And Vengeful Spirit, first pick by Byutiful.doto. Invoker is still available for Reborn if they want it. And neither of these picks is a surprise. Oracle also still in the pool, but once again, that hero is not terribly valued by the lower skill teams. And a Lich is another really strong early game support with lots of team fight, but he doesn't scale that well. But could buy enough time for a late game hero if Reborn Dominion want to do that. It is also very, very good at pushing. And just because of the ice armor and Frost Blast on such a short cooldown, he's a pretty good hero at pushing down towers or making it kind of hard to fight into his team. And most Liches will build a mechanism, so Reborn Dominion could also just look to Death Ball early. But Byutiful.doto have a Vengeful Spirit who plays really well up against the Death Ball, can swap out your core, get them out of position, kill them off, and finally slow down the push. And this is probably going to be a support. You usually don't see it played as a core. There are a few places where they do like to play the Vengeful Spirit as a core, but it's not a terribly common tactic. And Byutiful.doto going to pick a Wind Ranger. Now, Wind Ranger lane's pretty good up against the Invoker. I mean, I don't think she's gonna lose her lane terribly. She could, if she gets rotated on. Just there's a lot of magic damage, and the Wind Run won't really help her there. But she should be okay, and really good at taking towers. Plays pretty well with the Vengeful Spirit, the Armor Shred, the Shackle, Magic Missile, lots of lockdown, lots of single target lockdown already for Byutiful.doto, and some decent lockdown for Reborn Dominion just from the Invoker, who provides so much control. And Spectre banned out, and this also isn't that surprising to me, because the hero has been banned out actually almost every single game of the 82L that I have cast. She's taken out of the pool very frequently, and I think this hero is just very, very popular. So it's not a huge surprise, because she is one of the highest pub win rates. And though she has not seen that much exposure in competitive, she's still pretty popular. And Earthshaker also banned out. It would have been a good hero for Beautiful, a really good aggressive support duo, but while the Shaker is gone, they still have access to heroes such as... Well, Faceless Void is banned out, and that's another teamfight control hero, which Reborn Dominion could have really, like, Lich and Invoker would have played really well with a Chronosphere on their side. But I actually think Beautiful should have taken the Void and put it in the offlane, because the Void is really good against Invoker. And Luna now banned out, a good teamfight AoE, some magic damage, but Luna does take some time to get going. Reborn Dominion have access to Dazzle if they want it. I think it would be okay on their team, but Shadow Shaman would be pretty good, I think, for them. Lots of lockdown for the Wind Ranger. You can drop wards, take Roshan early, but they're going to go with Razor. He's going to play as their safe lane carry, and that's just a tanky core. I wonder if he's going to go the Mechanism, or if they're just going to have Lich go the Mech and he's going to go S and Y. It's your Beautiful Dominion. They could go Dazzle or Slardar, I think. I think they should go Slardar. It synergizes with the Vengeful Spirit, really detanks the Razor and negates the effectiveness of Ice Armor. Also would allow them to take Roshan extremely quickly with Venge, Wind Ranger. Like, I think Slardar would be a very good pick for them. Just a hero that would get a Blink Dagger and cause a lot of chaos for Reborn Dominion. Make a lot of plays early and prevent them from going late if they wanted to go late. So I really feel like since the hero is still available, it would be something very good for Beautiful Dominion to pick up, or for Beautiful.doto to pick up. Whereas Reborn Dominion, they've got a pretty tanky lineup already, and if they want to tank up some more, they can grab a Dazzle. This would just complement them a little bit, let them push, give them some sustain. They could also go like a Chen, help them get aggressive early with some good creeps. The Hand of God, very strong. And yeah, Beautiful grabbed Slardar. I think that hero complements their draft very, very nicely. Reborn Dominion could go for a Dazzle, I think would be very good with them. It's not that much damage, and I guess if they wanted some damage, there's still Witch Doctor available, which probably a decent pick, but not that great against Wind Ranger, and there's a lot of ways for Beautiful to cancel a Death Ward. But they go for Bane, which actually I think that's also really good here. You can Fiend's Grip the Wind Ranger while she's wind running, or just throw Nightmare on her, probably more efficient, because I think his Fiend's Grip's going to be cancelled almost every time. Gonna have to get like an Aether Lens or a Glimmer Cape or something to prevent him from getting just swapped, missiled, shackled. Beautiful.doto. They could go for their other support, but they're actually gonna go Pudge, and I think this is a support. Just the way it looks, yeah, it looks like a support, and Beautiful.doto have tons of control, so Reborn Dominion could pick up an Abaddon as their offlane, because that would help a lot against all of this control. You can purge off the Venge Missile, the Shackle, the Crush. Amp damage also can be purged. I don't know if it purges off Dismember, but Abaddon would be very, very good for Reborn Dominion, and I actually think Beautiful should ban it out, because it would really help keep the Invoker or Razor from being locked down in these fights, because Beautiful possess tons of lockdown, and Reborn Dominion looking for their offlane, and Beautiful.doto looking for their one position. This could also be an offlane Pudge, but I feel like this is a support. They could also be doing Slardar as their one, and they ban out the Darkseer. I think Reborn Dominion would get a lot of value out of the Abaddon. It doesn't have that much control though, which is somewhat problematic, but the hero would also negate a lot of control of Beautiful. They could also go for a Clockwork if they wanted to be a little more aggressive. And Axe also still available, but not good here. Would get blown up really quickly, I think. But they ban out the Phantom Lancer and Beautiful banning out the Darkseer. I think Darkseer would have been okay for Reborn Dominion. I actually think Darkseer might have been a little bit better for Beautiful themselves, and Phantom Lancer, a hero that Reborn Dominion's draft would not do very well against. They do not have very many options, and his illusions could soak up a lot of bounces from Chain Frost. So good ban. And Reborn Dominion looking for their carry. There's a lot of control, so something like Ember Spirit might not work. Although they could go like the Lifestealer. I think Lifestealer would be very good. It's good against Pudge. It has magic immunity, which is very important. It does. The issue though is there's a lot of physical damage. It could ignore this lockdown, but the physical damage is very hard for that hero to deal with, so it might not be the best pick. Oh no, they're looking for their offlane, that's right. It's Beautiful that's looking for their core, or support, maybe offlane. So Reborn Dominion looking for an offlane hero. Shaker's banned. They need control. So Clockwork would be pretty good. I think Abaddon would be good if they wanted to try to counter this all the lockdown on the side of Beautiful. But they actually go with Sven, so it looks like they're going to do aggro dual lanes. So they should, as long as Lich is in the off lane, that's fine. And so now Reborn have some more lockdown. The Warcry is very good against the Slardar and the Venge. Gives like the 20 armor, would help in the heat of the moment in a team fight. So Byutiful.doto looking for, I'm not sure actually. I want to say it's a support Venge or support Pudge, and that they're looking for either their one position, but it could also just be like offlane Slardar and then do Venge Pudge +1. Juggernaut actually I think would be very good. Magic immunity on the spin. It's like a slightly better version of the Lifestealer, honestly. Yeah, I think Juggernaut would be really good for Beautiful if they're looking for their core. It's kind of hard for me to tell. But they go with Slark, and actually that hero, good for similar reasons. He can Dark Pact off a lot of this control, can't be targeted by Static Link, can Dark Pact off the Spend Stun, the Bane control, some of the Invoker stuff. Lots of minus armor, so he's not going to need that many items to start doing a lot of work. So both of these teams crafting pretty good drafts. I would say the drafts are pretty equal, but I do slightly favor Beautiful's draft. I think it's easier to execute because Reborn Dominion actually, the Invoker is going to have to hit Tornadoes, and Sven and Bane are going to have to get Blink Daggers or Force Staff, respectively. Because otherwise, Reborn Dominion have no catch, no way to start fights. While as Byutiful.doto have the swap, they have a Shackle, they have Slardar who's going to get Blink, they've got Pudge, who is his hook, they've got Slark, who is also just, he can just catch you out, and anyway, so I do favor Byutiful.doto's draft. It's just easier to execute, and on these teams we've got Kentaro, Beautiful's captain, playing Slark, Lil G on the Wind Ranger, Monster playing Slardar, Senpai playing Vengeful Spirit, last but not least, Zero on Pudge. While on the side of Reborn Dominion, we have Olive Garden playing Razor, their team captain, Cocoa Puffs on the Sven, Rothgar playing Bane, Legion on Invoker, and RGB on Lich. So both these teams, I think smokes were bought. Pudge has 2, but they don't want Reborn Dominion grab one. Nice little golden hat for that Razor. No smokes on the side of RD, but it looks like, let's see, is this, so Slardar's going in the off lane, and I wonder which of these supports is going to join him, if they're going to do an aggro tri-lane, which they could easily pull off. I mean, stun into hook into shot into leash. So Reborn Dominion going to have to be careful at this rune. Might just want to try to go for bot rune to secure it for their Invoker. It's going to be really hard to get this with Pudge there, and it might result in an easy, quick first blood, I think. Reborn Dominion C, yeah. Reborn Dominion C is Slark, so they know he's got backup. May just want to concede this. Razor has Static Link, but the hook is there.
Let's all remember to have fun.
It's like they just concede the rune. Sven gets the bot rune, Slark gets the top rune. Neither mid grabs the rune, so Invoker not at a terrible disadvantage. So at least it wasn't that bad. If one mid gets the bounty over the other, it's really, really hard to play up against. I mean, the level 2 advantage is huge and could even result in kills. Invoker probably going to be going the Quas Wex build, maybe Quas Exort. That's another somewhat popular build. RGB gonna sacrifice a creep. Yep, sacrifice the melee creep. So with these lanes, it looks like aggro duels. Bane and Razor top lane. Some kill potential here, but actually, yeah, a little bit. Slardar actually going to be solo and going to be an aggro tri-lane in the off lane. They're going to have to be really careful how they balance this. Slark really needs the levels, and Pudge kind of needs the levels too. He's leashed, and good hook, and this could be first blood, but yeah, this is a quick first blood. Vengeful Spirit grabs it. So this aggro tri-lane paying off pretty well already, going to slow down this span, and if he can't get a Blink Dagger quick enough, then it's going to be really hard for RD to find any fights at all. Slardar is in the solo lane though, and hitting levels just fine, so not terribly in danger. I imagine we're going to see this Pudge roaming a lot. Vengeful Spirit and him should smoke gank mid a couple times, shut down the Invoker, make sure their Wind Ranger wins her lane. This lane, there's Pudge is looking for the hook, but Creep's blocking the way. No, it is Quas Exort, so we're probably just going to see a few, like usually what we see is a few levels in Quas, and then after 3 or 4 they go for Wex. Start getting the Tornadoes, EMP, Deafening Blast is a really important spell for the hero. Slardar's pulling for himself, but will he pull through? Otherwise he's going to double wave, and that's going to be kind of scary if you're the Slardar. I mean, you don't want to be pushed in all the way. A rotation for a Nightmare to set up a Sunstrike could do lots of damage and easily result in his death. Lots of burst up there, and Pudge finally level 2, Slark also level 2, and these heroes, I think they really need to rotate these supports. Otherwise they're going to lose this lane because they won't find any levels. And it's going to hurt them very, very badly, especially the Slark, who is a very snowbally hero who wants to get a big lead.
Get out of here.
So mid lane, Invoker a little bit ahead in CS, but otherwise pretty even. Olive Garden doing okay in CS, tied up with the Invoker at the top, and I think this Bane might want to sit mid, get a value point and Enfeeble, and just stop this Wind Ranger from harassing anyone. It looks like Pudge looking for the hook again. They're trying to disrupt the pull, but unable to do so. Lich gonna have to be careful. The creeps did spot out their supports, but again, I feel like it's not good for Byutiful to sit their supports down here like this. I mean, they want kills, but they're not finding them. If they do, they need to pull from here. And it looks like they may have, actually. Or did it get blocked? I don't know. But they need to pull from here. Zone these two heroes, because it's already hard to push against them because of the Lich Deny. And you have so much kill potential if you rotate your heroes up, especially in mid on the Invoker, who... I mean, there's so much control and so much burst, Ghost Walk probably won't save him. Monster, though, is level 4, and it looks like going in here, Lich in trouble, definitely going to die. War Cried up, no Magic Missile, but Dark Pact, and he will eventually pop under the Rot and the Dark Pact, so Lich did go down, and this aggro tried finding the kills, but not necessarily the levels, and that could be more important. Sven already level 4, almost 5, whereas all 3 heroes level 3 in this tri-lane. Oh, Wind Ranger good with the haste rune. She doesn't have a point in Shackle Shot, though, and not going to be able to kill this Invoker. Needs to be careful. She might go down instead. She misses Alacrity, but able to trade up the high ground and barely survives. And, I mean, he wasn't getting out of there anyway. The supports were rotating. And I think that should happen a lot more, and this Wind Ranger needs a point in Shackle Shot. At least one. the Wind Run isn't a great skill to max, so I think this is a little bit of a mistake. With the Shackle Shot, that kill would have been very, very easy. Because there was the chance that she was going to miss that auto attack up high ground and die. So although Lich is only level 3, Sven is 5. 3 points in Stormhammer, and sometimes we see them max Warcry, and I think he should do that second for sure. There's a ton of minus armor on Byutiful, and that's one of the strengths of having the Sven, actually, is it will help in team fights against the minus armor. Everyone will be getting 20 armor, while the max armor shred on one person is going to be like 26. But is this really going to work? I mean, Venge does not have Magic Missile, but Slark able to leap over the trees and get himself in there. So now Sven dies, and that's the kill that they really need. Slark level 4, Pudge also level 4, but this Venge still only level 3. I really think they should rotate on this Invoker, get lots of kills on him. He's very squishy, although this Wex giving him a ton of damage. Able to trade very well against this Wind Ranger. As for last hits, though, all the core is doing pretty well, but with Razor and Invoker leading the way, about 6 ahead of the Slark and the Wind Ranger. Although the kills will probably have the net worth be very, very even. So no one really getting a huge lead out of these lanes yet. Despite the kill score, I don't think that's like a massive advantage for Byutiful at this point. Most of these kills have happened in the bot lane. And Slardar has lived the whole time. He has his Tranquil Boots and is going to be 6 soon, so could start rotating. Sven has power treads, but so does Slark with an Orb of Venom, so definitely wanting to get aggressive. And I think at this point, Byutiful just put their Bane bot lane. And actually, yeah, Reborn put their Bane bot lane, and yeah, they have. So that's what they need. Razor is not going to die to this Slardar. In fact, if anything, Slardar dies to Razor from that Link. And this is, I actually think, the right play this game. I think maxing the Link is really smart. Get lots of damage very, very quickly, and Legion might be in trouble. Pudge looking for the hook. Wind Ranger has a point in Shackle Shot now, and Power Shot, so with Focus Fire, a hook into a Shackle could be devastating, but Invoker could try to invoke Ghost Walk in that time. Going for a Hand of Midas, it looks like, or Treads. He is hooked up, but is there any fallback? Yep, there is. Vengeful Spirit's there, and Invoker goes down. Rothgar trying to find a return kill, but Pudge earns himself up, and now Rothgar might want to be careful. Not going to be able to find the kill there. The supports of Byutiful finally getting active on the map, finding all those kills, and this is a very scary support duo. If either of them lands their stun, you die. If Vengeful Spirit lands for Magic Missile and Pudge lands Hook, you're probably going to die, so Invoker having a very rough time, definitely looking to get a Hand of Midas since the hero is so level dependent. And Kentaro pinging out the regen rune and going to heal to full thanks to Shadow Jade's finally finding level 6. Sven also level 6 though, and Lich level 5, so these supports are very, very leveled actually. Pudge now at full, Vengeful Spirit low mana but enough for a Magic Missile. So we could look to see a kill happen at bot lane. Slark has 3 points in Pounce, and there's a ward here to see them, and Lich walks right into the heroes and unfortunately going to die very, very quickly. Going to do his duty as a support and ward, but ends up finding Pudge and Venge and Slark right there. And Sven looks to be in a little bit of a peculiar situation. I mean, they've got vision right here. And Sven is not, if he gets hooked or leashed or missiled, he's dead. I think what they need to do, Reborn Dominion that is, stack up these camps, and so Sven can farm them. And now de-warded up here. And yeah, Sven should just leave this lane, go jungle, grab an Iron Talon so he can jungle faster, because he's falling a little bit behind. But Wind Ranger has now caught up in last hits to the Invoker and the Razor. Slark also catching up, but the cores are still very well farmed. I mean, Razor's having a great game so far. Just have no issues. Level 8. Invoker ghost walking to safety, and once again, Beautiful applying pressure with 4 heroes in mid. Kentaro even leaving, which I feel like is a little bit of a mistake. Ghostwalk has a very long duration, and Invoker's probably just not going to get out of it. Kentaro will find the binary rune, hit level 7. Yeah, these...
I'll take that.
Bane level 4, Lich almost level 6. And DD rune on the Wind Ranger, so this tower is not long for this world, and will go down very quickly. Going to try to deny it? No, they do let the tower fall. And this Razor could prove to be a problem. I mean, he's already level 8. One of the highest level heroes in the game, but at the same time, the rest of his team, it seems to be struggling a little bit, although Invoker is farming well enough that he's not going to be a burden to his team or anything like that. Does have Midas on the way, so we'll be accelerating his levels a little bit. Lil G looking for a gank now. Might run into some heroes though, and has Wind Run ready. Her ultimate not quite off cooldown. And shackled up, Hrothgar will die very, very fast. It's pinged out unless he nightmares her. Nightmares himself actually, but will just set up for a power shot and going to die. Actually set up for a hook and gets himself killed, but Chain Frost comes out, unfortunately not going to bounce. Olive Garden has rotated, but dying very quickly, doing a ton of damage stolen though. 200 damage stolen, but is earned up and going to go down in the end. But they did find a couple return kills, so not a complete loss for Reborn Dominion. And a trade when you're behind is all you really need. Invoker, no Cold Snap invoked, is able to invoke a new spell now, going for Sunstrike. Is it high enough level though? Not actually. I don't think it's actually going to be able to kill the Wind Ranger. But they did find some return kills, and slightly favoring them, although the XP did really favor Beautiful. Slark has now leashed onto Hrothgar, and Hrothgar's going to get crushed and bashed, and now he's dead. So Slardar finishing his Blink Dagger in a very timely manner, so Beautiful. Suddenly things looking very good for them, and now Reborn Dominion in a little bit of trouble. Damage from the Invoker coming out, but it's not quite enough, and now no Ghostwalk finally ready, no, and Slardar's just going to blink, and this is going to be a very dead Sven, sprinted up, and just another hit. So Monster, really good rotation from the Slardar, coming down from having accomplished very little in lane to get a triple kill. So suddenly what was an okay trade for Reborn Dominion, a 2 for 2, now a complete disaster and losing all of their heroes. Slark going to be rushing the Shadow Blade he will have it in a couple minutes, and I think this is the right thing to do. I think he really just wants to get aggressive on the map from the get-go, and that's how you do it. You rush the Shadow Blade and really start tearing things, like just tearing apart squishy supports. I mean, Bane has 700 health, Lich has 770 health, so neither of these supports going to survive for a terribly long time when Slark jumps them. Sven has Mask of Madness, and I really think he should grab an Iron Talon to help accelerate his farm. He can go into the jungle and just stack camps for himself, or have his support stack camps for him, and just farm. That's something that they should really look to do. And at the same time, Reborn or Beautiful should go for Roshan, like right now. I think they don't have a medallion or anything, but they don't need it. They've got 2 points in Wave of Terror. They've got Slardar's amp damage. Crush just barely off the mark, but Pudge now has his ult available, and Hrothgar going to die very, very fast. Invoker trying to make a play, but not going to find his way there. Invoker, or Razor popping the ultimate. The static link breaking immediately, unfortunately, because of the nighttime vision, but the ult maybe a little bit premature from Olive Garden. But maybe they can push with it. Just scare off Beautiful. Maybe they don't want to fight into the lightning, and if it hits Roshan now, actually at bot lane, they go in on the Sven, and Sven dies once again, and he just can't afford to die. He's already fairly far behind, and things not looking good for him. Item progression on the side of Reborn Dominion is very, very slow and looking pretty grim. Beautiful playing a very snowbally draft, and the Slark has his Shadow Blade, had it about 2 minutes ago actually, and just going to find kill after kill with the help of this Slardar. Even solo he's going to find lots of kills. Slardar going for a Force Staff, so going to be very, very mobile. Beautiful might just want to concede this tower. They do have 4 heroes there, but Slardar sprinting in, trying to find the Crush, finds it on 3, amp damage on the Razor. Shackle latching on the Sven, and Sven in trouble now. Rockgar also in trouble, going to go down very fast. Invoker swapped back. Chain Frost comes out, but unfortunately only bounces the one time. It was very low, but Reborn Minion do find a 1-for-1 trade, trading one of their supports for the supports of Beautiful, but the hook on the Invoker, he's very likely going to die here. The power shot comes out, catching 1. Crush on 2 heroes again, and Reborn Olive Garden also going to die, it looks like, but maybe not able to beat away these guys. Not enough mana for hook on the Pudge, just going to back off, and again, 2 core, so a favorable trade for Beautiful, although, or even more favorable now, losing the Slardar, but it was 2-4-4. So, although Beautiful didn't get as much gold as Reborn Minion, you're still, just because of combat gold, how it works, I mean, the Wind Ranger was a very valuable kill. And if we look at the net worth, Slark and Wind Ranger are almost 2k gold ahead of the Wind Ranger, or sorry, Slark and Wind Ranger are 2k gold ahead of the Invoker and the Razor, and Sven is even behind the Pudge. So Sven having a very, very hard game. And now Hrothgar going to die in the Shackle, unable to cast any spells. The stun on Senpai, he's going to die very fast, but Sven ult is ready. Windrun to kite the Sven out though, and another hero dead for Reborn Dominion. A good 3-man crush. Slark has arrived. Shackle on Sven. Sven dies instantly as Slark arrives, and now Olive Garden in trouble. His ult is going, but he's very squishy thanks to his amp damage, and this goes down very, very fast. RGB might be in trouble. Slark looks like he wants this, does not have his ultimate ready, and crush, and then pops again very fast, so tons of burst damage, and these heroes just going to start snowballing out of control. 2k on the Wind Ranger. They trade 4 for 2, a 2k gold swing in favor of RD, and more importantly, 4k experience. Pudge now finishing up a Blink Dagger. I actually think he should have got Aether Lens first, but that's not a huge issue. The Blink Dagger is also very good, but Aether Lens just provides a lot to the Pudge, and I think he could have benefited very greatly from it. Speaking of Aether Lens, looks like Vengeful Spirit going to be building one. Only needs the cloak now, and Slardar finished up his Force Staff. Wind Ranger Wind Ranger actually getting a Force Staff herself. Probably going to be going Aghanim Scepter next. Maybe a BKB. So both Razor and Invoker built drums on the side of Reborn Dominion. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication, but both think Razor really should have tried to get his S and Y. I think that was probably the good item. Actually, he should be going. No, with you have Lich already going back, they should be going. They should be going the S and Y. And Zero looks like he might actually go down here, but no, Slark now in charge, and no leap. Chain Frost comes out, not gonna bounce, and Slark may have given up his life here, so just feeding away. Vengeful Spirit has Magic Missile, but Zero very low and no mana, so that was. And on the other side of the map, Lil G finding 1 kill. Monster in trouble, very low. 168 damage stolen on the Razor, but Senpai on the way, has Magic Missile. Crush out. Slardar in trouble, but the Shackle able to just barely get away, and Wind Ranger not actually doing any damage at all, but now that the damage steal has ended, she's finally able to hit him and finishing up her Aghanim Scepter. So across the map, pretty poor for Beautiful, although it was very unnecessary for Slark to die. I think he just probably miscalculated how much mana he would have after he left and Dark Pact, and just found he was no longer able to cast his ultimate, which did end up costing him his life. Although the Wind Ranger now getting really, really far ahead, and Slark has his first ultimate orb, going to be going for a Scotty, it seems. I would actually, I mean, Scotty is good, but I think if he wants to snowball and maybe fight more a little early, he could go in S and Y. The maim, damage, it gives him damage, health, Kind of the same story as Scotty. But if he can get the Scotty quickly, then the Scotty is the better choice. And once again, I would really like to see Beautiful claim this Roshan. They could kill that so fast, especially now that they have the Wind Ranger Ags, 15-second cooldown on Focus Fire. There's no reason to not just amp damage, Wave of Terror, Focus Fire, Roshan, and kill him. Kentaro maybe going to try to look for a pick-off. There's a double damage rune available. If the Revenge has a smoke, they might look to pop that. Maybe they want to do Roche, maybe they want to... They are going into the Roche, but they don't have Slaughter's amp damage. They could just... But all of Reborn minion right there at that bot tower might be very dangerous, so instead they're going to rotate up and try to take a fight. Sven shackled up and could crush on 2. The Pudge does count, but not going to find anything. Chain Frost does not bounce. Invoker. Kentaro Shadow Dance up. The Meatball misses. Crush hitting on just RGB, but Monster getting very, very low. Kentaro still fairly healthy, but in trouble. Good Pudge hook on the Invoker. Kentaro bringing down the Razor, and now RGB in serious trouble. And Legion going to be taken down by the Pudge last second, and now I think Beautiful can just... Well, they're going to need to heal up. The Slark will heal up very quickly, though, and... But just once again accelerating their lead. Another 2k gold swing for them, and yet another 4k XP swing. Slark doing tons of damage in these fights. Already have accumulated a 10k gold lead ahead of these here, ahead of Reborn Dominions. So things looking very, very bad considering how snowbally the lineup of Beautiful is. I mean, Pudge now has a point in Flesh Sheep, so he's getting very, very tanky, and his ult going to start doing a lot of damage.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
A soldier's fortune.
Item progression on RD looking very grim. Razor going at BKB, it seems. That's probably the correct choice. Lots of lockdown on Beautiful, but Dismember, Focus Fire, amp damage still going to go through it all. And Invoker going for Force Staff, closing in on it. Bane has brown boots, but does have his level 6. Sven also, his item progression has stalled. And Aether Lens now finished on the Vengeful Spirit. Slark has the Orb of Venom and yet another Ultimate Orb, so very close to his Scotty, only about 1,000 gold away probably. Pudge now going for an Aether Lens of his own, only about 250 gold away, or 300 gold away, it's 550. So, Beautiful about to pick up some big items on all their heroes. Well, Reborn Dominion just have nothing really coming yet. I mean, Force Staff just finished on Invoker, Bane has nothing, Sven has no items, he needs a Blink Dagger because they have no real catch. Right now, Reborn Dominion aren't able to fight on their own terms. Slaughter gets stunned up, but Sven might be in trouble. Pudge goes forward. Is he going to find the hook? Does he want hook, or does he want... He does find the hook, and now Legion going to die very, very quickly. Chain Frost comes out, starts bouncing. This one actually gets to bounce, but RGB getting low. Slark enfeebled up. Hitting a little less hard, but with amp damage, the enfeebled does not matter, although lots of damage still coming out. Slark losing tons of damage. Razor still 119. So Slark not hitting for any damage at all, actually. But no heroes lost yet on Beautiful, but losing the Invoker and the Bane on the side of Reborn Dominion. So yeah, another fight gone very poorly for Reborn Dominion, and they're just unable to find their time to shine. They're unable to find their ideal situation where they catch a lot of heroes in the Invoker Tornado, a big Chain Frost. This, yeah, Roshan melting under the pressure from the Focus Fire, now max rank and amp damage, so yeah, this Roche at negative 9 armor, and now the Aegis probably going to be given to the Slark, and actually Slardar does grab it in the end, so I think they probably should have given it to Slark or Wind Ranger, but that's fine, I guess. Slark now has completed his Scotty, so very fast Scotty. He could go BKB next to be in the middle of the fight more. Could go a Basher if he wants to try to get a little more greedy, and I think he can get away with that. He hasn't been dying in these fights anyways, so I'd like to see him just try to snowball with like the Basher. BKB almost completed on the Razor. Mech has been finished on Lich. I don't know quite exactly when. Probably recently, considering he has no gold. Invoker has Force Staff. Bane still no item progression whatsoever. Sven going something. Perhaps BKB. Maybe a Sange, but he probably needs the BKB and then a Blink Dagger. That's probably what Sven's got to do for items. BKB, then Blink Dagger. Gives his team some catch, lets him chase. Little G now a Blink Dagger of her own. So this Wind Ranger going to be able to start fights for her team now, and a very good shackle onto the Forge Spirit. Stun on 3, and Cocoa Puff's nothing, but Little G just gets blown up so fast. The Invoker doing lots of damage. Now Fiend's Grip swapped to safety, but the Fiend's Grip still going, and another hero down. Slardar coming back. Slark all on his own. Is able to get out. He does Shadow Blade up, going to walk away, so this is the first fight really in favor of Reborn Dominion. Beautiful just getting a little ahead of themselves and probably just underestimating the damage done from Reborn Dominion, but now Kentaro does find a kill on... So they traded the supports for the Wind Ranger and Aegis. So definitely a really big fight for Reborn Dominion. They finally found their way, and oh, Crush not able to connect. Allgarden though still may be in trouble. Good hook on the Invoker. Gets Force Staff to safety out of Crush range, so well played from Legion getting himself out of there. So not really the fight Beautiful wanted, and the Aegis, which that's the reason I would really want to put it on the Wind Ranger, because if she had been able to come back, she could have just torn the enemy heroes apart. She does a lot of damage, but they chose to give it to the Slardar, who's going for a BKB as his next item. Kentaro looking for the pickoff. And he does have the Basher almost complete. So he's going to go the more snowbally route. Joker sitting on top of 1,500 gold, but the net worth still looking pretty grim for Reborn Dominion. 12k gold is still there. Leash up now on Slark, but he's losing tons of damage. His Razor stolen 161 damage, but his BKB was popped, and now Beautiful should be kind of happy with how that went. Razor ult popped, BKB popped, and they can just walk away. Yes, Slark doing literally 0 damage. Hitting very gently now, but Razor able to steal a lot of damage there, but unfortunately unable to do anything with it. Beautiful just disengage every time, and that's the problem Reborn Dominion are going to have. They can't start fights. Sven needs a Blink Dagger, or Bane needs a Force or a Blink Dagger of his own so that they can just fight, but they can't right now. Whereas Beautiful have a lot of ways to initiate team fights. They had the Punch Hook, Wind Ranger Blink, Slardar Blink, they have Swap, Slark with his Shadow Blade. So really hard for Reborn Dominion to take a fight on their own terms. I'm going to try to push this tower. They have the Wind Ranger ult ready, and Sunstrike comes out to tickle the Wind Ranger. Fortification not quite ready. Wind Ranger might be a little overextended, but able to blink away to safety last second. And now Legion hooked out of position. Nightmare up, but Rot going to tear apart this Invoker anyway. The Chain Frost bounces, killing off the Vengeful Spirit, and now Pudge should probably be joining him in the grave. And Slark looking to find a kill. The Shackle Shot catching on 2, it looks like. And Razor's BKB back up, but he's all alone now, and all 3 cores still alive from Beautiful, and yes, that's a 5-man wipe. Slark is tearing them apart. They just can't deal with all of this damage and the tankiness of the Slark. They did a really good Chain Frost, which made the fight look good for them, but unfortunately not able to maximize it. 3 buybacks available, and they may use them, although Hero's respawning soon, so might just want to try to wait out as long as they can. But they could lose. I don't know if they'll lose. Razor's dead for 35 seconds. They're probably going to lose Rax. No fortifications. Sven dead for 10 seconds. Focus Fire now ready, so crush on the Rothgar, but they're going to focus on Legion and bring him down very quickly. Nightmare up on the Slark, and just with that amp damage, just 2 hits from Slark and Bane dies. So the heroes on the side of Reborn Minion just melting and unable to find everything, and yeah, they call it GG, and Byutiful just taking the game by force and snowballing out of control, which is exactly what their draft wanted to do. And Reborn Dominion, unfortunately, lanes did not go well for them. If they had been able to slow down the Slark, and I think after the first death in bot lane, they should have put the Bane there. They should have sat Bane there and just played very defensively, stacked up the jungle for Sven because Sven had no items. Razor did very well and probably shouldn't have rotated till he finished his first item, and I think he should have gone SNY, especially because Invoker had got his drums a minute or 2 before Razor got his own drums. Like SNY, BKB, then, I don't know, just Mechanism would have also been pretty good on the Razor, but they did go for it on the Lich. So just Byutiful.doto outplaying Reborn Dominion, and I did favor Beautiful's draft, but I think they had a lot more to do than just like, oh, they got out drafted. No, it was really just straight up outplay from Byutiful. So well played from them, and hopefully Reborn Dominion are gonna rally past this and come back to tie the series 1-1. Game 2 will be starting very shortly.